So my name is Victor, and I work at Uber, but I've been using Mapbox a lot lately, and I just want to talk about how awesome it is, in case you haven't heard about it. They've got a lot of really cool stuff that they've been working on, particularly with regard to vector tiles. And so everything I'm going to be talking about is sort of the latest things that they've been doing. And so this is an example of Mapbox.gl.js, which uses vector tiles just like Google Maps. So it's all rendered in WebGL. But the really cool thing about all of this is that they've basically put everything online and open sourced it, which is pretty incredible. Just an example, here's the repo for the client-side rendering library, Cocoa. There's a native version, node bindings for the native version. They also open source their vector tile specifications, so you could like implement your own vector tile service if you want, if you didn't want to pay for Mapbox's service. And there's also a lot of really great node modules online. The chunk of code that renders the vector tiles, the part that generates their vector tiles using Mapnik. It's all pretty incredible. And if I have time, I just wanted to do like a quick little demo of the style specification. So if you have like a node app and you can just require it in the browser and then like change styles out, and then you've got this incredible new map, but it's already got all the vector tiles cached. So it doesn't have to make a new request if the styles change, and you can change the styles dynamically. So here's just a custom style. And if I wanted to like zoom in to San Francisco with my new custom style, and then look for buildings, and then make it red, you could do that. I wanted to show you some other stuff I'm working on at Uber, but I can't because I can't yet. But if you're interested in working at Uber, come talk to me.
I got obsessed with the idea of doing, this is using D3 and 3.js to do maps. And how this works is the maps, this uses Canvas. The maps are generated with GeoJSON using Canvas to generate textures for 3, and then using D3 to handle the transitions and interpolation. So for example, if you wanted to see Ian Johnson for some reason, you can see that he lives there, and these are just people. Actually, I just chose people that I follow on Twitter, and partially people just to make the globe spin around a lot. So, because it's yeah. So this originally, I started with this guy was doing some stuff with this, but I'm not very skilled with 3, but he was, it didn't seem like he was doing it the right way, so I was trying to do it the way that made sense to me, using the original the original starting point was seeing that and seeing Mike Bostock's World Tour, and seeing if I could do it in 3. So that's it, and these are all posted as blogs. I will.
Thanks. So I'm Julia Janicki, and I went to Okinawa to work on a project to visualize some ant data. So it's a database with 1.6 million records. And we use D3 and Leaflet for the front end. And overall, or the default, which we show the overall species richness of all ant species. And so if you click on California, you can see all the species that are found here. And you can also filter by genus or subfamily. And you could click on species directly through that mode, or you could go into the species view, and so there's a legend on the bottom here that will show you the status of the species. So you could filter again with the drop-down menu, or you could directly type it in. So this species, you can see it's native to Africa, but in a lot of other places, it's mostly exotic. And you could select a region to get citations. So if you're a researcher, that would be really useful. And finally, there's another view that's region comparison. So basically, it will map out the common species between the selected region and all the other regions. So if you wanted to compare California to Texas, you can see there's 129 species in common, and you can get the list of species. So the main point is for ant researchers to be able to see global patterns of ant biodiversity, and we also wanted to encourage data discrepancies if anyone saw any. So that's it.
Hello, my name is Curran Kelleher. I work at Alpine Data Labs, and I'm working on this open source project called Chiasm. Chiasm means it's a part of the human brain that connects the eyes to the rest of the brain. So this is like a system that's designed to connect big data systems with interactive data visualizations. And so here's the kitchen sink demo that shows the progress so far in the project. The goal is that it's sort of an expansive plugin-based project where there are different kinds of visualizations that are plugins. So far I have bar chart, line chart, and scatter plot. And it's configuration driven. So as this configuration changes on the left, the runtime environment takes those changes and executes them. So you can see here's a scatter plot with optional color and size as column encodings. And here's another example that shows some of the interaction. So this is temperature data over time for a few cities around the world. And as you brush in this view on the bottom, the subset you select sort of feeds into this view on the top. And then you can brush in that view as well, and it draws a connected scatter plot of temperature and humidity for that brushed region. And this is using the Chiasm project. And if you click this gear, you can see the configuration and edit it. And if you wanted to, say, change the color of San Francisco, you could click this and sort of make it pop out. And it updates in all three of the visualizations. So this is kind of what I'm working on.
Yeah. Give myself 2 minutes here. So hopefully many of you have seen this project that I kicked off 10 days ago. It's a Kickstarter to try to make making blocks or building blocks simpler. And I've been, since you can see it met the goal, I figured I should start working on it. So I got a little prototype going, and I think it'd be more appropriate if I found a map-related block to demo it on. So if this is a globe, let's say we like this globe, but we want to change something about it. It is not hosted yet. This is still on my local host, but all the code is on GitHub. We should see the globe. Of course, I had to choose one that's not going to work. Let's see. I think, stuff where it's referencing these local things on blocks, I still have to make that work better. So of course, all these advanced mapping demos. This one should work. Please work. Almost, still found something. Anyway, let me show you one I know works. It's not a map, so, you know. But let's say you want to go in here and kind of change like some value, make my thing really big, you know, say fork it so that I can share this as a new example with people. It's all URL driven, so if I click this, it'll open up the block that I just made, right? So here would be the code, well, it's the description, here's the code, and that's it. So thank you.